Hi, welcome back to The Good, the Bad, and the Anxious. My name is Rebecca, and I am here to document my journey through bariatric surgery and beyond. I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy on January 16th, 2021 at Blossom Bariatrics in Vegas. My stats are down below in the description, along with my Instagram link if you're interested. So now I am 1 week post-op. And that is what this video is about. It's kind of my third video of the night, so I apologize if I'm a little bit scatterbrained. But basically, I just wanted to update you guys on how the first week of post-op went and how I'm doing. And so hopefully this video will be a little bit shorter and sweeter. So long story short, I'm doing great, surprisingly great, way better than I expected. Although I didn't really have any solid expectations since I've never had major surgery before, but I do have to say that like I had a lot of fear and anxiety, prior to this about what my recovery would be like, and I definitely worried that it was going to be horrible and long and awful, and it really wasn't. As I've stated in my last video, if you watched it, basically the first 6 hours after surgery were hell, and then and luckily I was so kind of drugged up that they're mostly a blur, but they were very painful. Mostly it was just from the gas pushing against my diaphragm, but after that, after I got my first IV and then my second IV the next day after surgery, basically things just seemed to get better and better. I had some nausea the first day or two, and so getting liquids in was a little bit of a challenge. Your stomach is really swollen post-surgery, and so your stomach just kind of doesn't want to like relax and let the fluids in, so every little sip is just a struggle to get it in there. And then the worst pain, like I said, was the gas pain, but I was up and walking pretty quickly, and I walked a lot those first couple days after surgery. And my mom percussed my back, to move the air along, and all of that kind of feels good. And every day just kind of, like the bubbles like hit your diaphragm and they hurt for a minute, and then they bubble up into your left shoulder. And the reason for that is because there's apparently more passages between on your left side than your right side. So basically everything, mostly if it's in your abdomen, travels to your left shoulder. So actually sometimes if you have left shoulder pain, they actually look in your abdomen for the problem. And if you have right shoulder pain, then they usually look at like your lungs. So fun fact. So it'll kind of like bubble up and like pop in your shoulder, and that hurts. So that was kind of like the worst pain. But I was on Percocet and Tylenol and ibuprofen, kind of on and off. I stopped Percocet on Wednesday night was my last one that I took, and it's now Saturday. So basically just been managed with some ibuprofen and the occasional Tylenol since then. But yeah, basically like my mother and everybody has commented on how well I'm doing and how surprised they are about how well I'm doing, including myself. I've commented on it. We're just kind of both surprised at how well I am post-op. When I saw my stepdad, he was just kind of like, how are you like walking right now and coherent? And I was like, I don't know, I just am. He's like, he totally expected me to be bedridden for a couple days, and I was just like up and pacing the house and talking and walking. Everybody seems pretty surprised, including myself. So basically we did stay on top of my meds that whole time. Like I said, I was on Percocet for a while. We kept really good record of when I took them and how much I took them, which was super handy to make sure that like my pain was managed the whole time. I basically stopped tracking yesterday. I haven't tracked my meds since, because right now it's pretty much just like on a day-by-day basis. Like, okay, am I in pain? Okay, go take some meds, So yeah, my pain is basically gone because the gas is gone now. And yeah, also I just never really took as much of the Percocet. The Percocet lasted a lot longer than it would normally, because they only give you enough for like 2 days post-op. Then after that, you're supposed to manage with just Tylenol and ibuprofen. And I I was allowed to take 2 Percocet at a time, but I only took 1. And 1 Percocet plus Tylenol seemed to do the trick for me for the worst pain. So I don't know if that tells you anything about how easy it was. It was pretty easy recovery. And then we drove back to Vegas 2 days after surgery, and that was pretty easy. I don't know if you guys know this, but right after surgery, your body just kind of stops. Anesthesia stops your body basically from functioning properly for about 48 hours. And that includes your urination and your bowel movements, which is so fun. The good thing about that was that even though I was drinking, I was sipping the whole time, the whole 7 hours back to Tahoe from Vegas. We only had to stop like twice to actually go to the bathroom, which was nice because my urine output was just not what it should be. Luckily, everything's back to normal and functioning in my body, so we're good. I will say that the first day back in Tahoe, first full day was Tuesday, and that was actually a pretty rough day. I'd had, a pretty good day on Monday and a pretty good day on Sunday, so it was kind of a little bit of a surprise to have a rough day, but I think it was kind of a combination of coming off of the IV fluids from Sunday. It was my last IV treatment, so now it was like, 2 days after that, the IV fluids are finally like out of my body. And then that combined with suddenly being at high altitude in Tahoe. And so, and also like my stomach was still swollen, and you're supposed to drink constantly. And I finally felt full for the first time, which basically is just a really uncomfortable feeling. It just feels like there's something pushing up against your diaphragm, and it's just really uncomfortable. And then sometimes like your stomach will cramp like this too, and it'll say, nope, I'm done. Don't feed me anymore. So I was like full all day. I was uncomfortable, and my pain wasn't quite managed, and I was just like, it was a rough day. And then altitude generally kind of can make you feel crummy for the first day or so that you're at altitude. And so I just was pretty miserable that day. But that night I finally slept because I hadn't really been sleeping super well since surgery. You wake up every few hours, in pain. You have to take more medication. You have to get up and walk. And so I didn't really sleep super well until that night, Tuesday night. And I woke up on Wednesday and felt like a different person. I felt like the world had changed, and I felt so much better. And it's pretty much been uphill since then. Incision pain, pretty much non-existent unless you like poke them. It was a little sore the first couple days when I would like get up and move around because you have to tighten your stomach muscles, and they just poked through your stomach muscles. But after that, like on Wednesday, basically I woke up and the incision pain was pretty much gone. Now like there's just little bruises around them. So yeah, if you poke me, then it hurts, but otherwise like I don't even notice them anymore. And really the worst part of any pain was the gas, and again that's been gone as well for a day or two now as well. I did gain 4 pounds of fluid immediately post-op, but that's very normal. And if you watch my last video, I could talk a little bit more about that. And it took until Thursday morning for that fluid to go away, and I was finally back at pre-op weight, which was 350. And then on Friday, yesterday, I drove all 9 hours back home to Oregon, only stopping a few times to like go to the bathroom and walk, and it was actually surprisingly easy, and I was kind of worried about it beforehand, but it was really easy, and I felt great. I had, kind of a surprising amount of energy when I got back and like unpacked everything and like ran around the house like a crazy person for a little while. It was surprising, but it feels really good to be back home. And since I've been home, I've actually continued to have a surprising amount of energy. I am on these little B12 patches, which I think helps with the energy. I do get to take a multivitamin, and the fun thing is that I did get to stop some medications. So I did get to stop my metformin, which I was on for insulin resistance due to my PCOS. And then I also got to stop one of my 2 blood pressure meds. and I'm hoping that in the next couple weeks I'll get to stop the other one. So we'll see. But that's like, the cool part is that it's a really quick, as soon as surgery happens, like you're off your medications fairly quickly. Your body responds very quickly to the surgery, which has been really cool to see, actually. And let's see, my goal is every day, like they want you to just drink a little bit more and more every day. And my goal is to drink 64 ounces of liquid a day and to get in at least 60 to 90 grams of protein. Right now, I'm kind of sitting between 40 and 70 ounces of water, or of liquid, not water, but liquid, depending on the day, honestly. And I'm eating between 40 and I think one day I got 73 grams of protein a day. So, and all of that is done through liquids. It's done through bone broths and soups and adding protein to things like pudding or soup, or, you know, drinking protein shakes, that kind of stuff. And actually the nurse at Blossom called me today, and when I told her about, you know, like, oh yeah, yesterday I got like 75 ounces of liquid and 73 grams of protein, she was like, you're doing the best of anybody I've talked to. Like, that's amazing. They're, you know, they just kind of were super surprised and told me that I'm doing phenomenally well. And everyone, again, like I said, seems pretty surprised by my progress, and I'm pretty happy. Honestly, if I didn't have incisions and a little bit of fatigue and a tiny tummy, like, I wouldn't even have known that I'd had the surgery. So, like, that's how great I feel. It sounds really stupid, but yeah. So this morning I weighed myself, and I have lost 7 pounds this week of actual weight. With the pre-op fluids, because I gained 4 pounds in pre-op fluids, I've technically lost 11 this week, but I'm not going to count the 4 pounds of pre-op fluid or post-op fluid, sorry, because, I mean, it's just water weight. So I'm only counting those 7 pounds, which means that I've lost 22 pounds since starting the pre-op diet. So in 3 weeks, I've lost 22 pounds. I think I've lost something like 37 pounds since my highest weight, and like 27 pounds since I decided to do this surgery 4 months ago. So you can finally start to like see it in my face now. I don't have quite as much of a double chin. It's still there, but it's just not quite as much anymore. So yeah, it's just kind of cool. And then today, just to give you guys a little update, I did have my first non-scale victory. It's not my first one, but it's my first like big one that's really noticeable. I went on a walk with my husband and our dogs. You can see Zoe, you know, laying down right there, or standing up, whatever she's doing. That's Zoe. So I went on a walk with my dogs, with my husband, and pre-surgery I would have been huffing and puffing. It would have been hard because my dogs are unfortunately horribly ill-mannered on leash. They pull constantly. And pre-op, I would have barely been able to handle one of them. I would have been in so much back pain by the time we got back to the house. I would have been exhausted. Today, I did it with no problems, no huffing and puffing. I could have walked farther. I wasn't in any pain, and it was fairly easy for me to manage my dog. And that is amazing to me. And honestly, seeing non-scale victories like that, and the fact that my shirts are starting to be looser already. My pants not so much, but my shirts are. And I've just got this energy that I've never had before. And my stomach definitely is like less bloated and less out. Like, it definitely is I'm thinning down. And then like the chair that Zoe's all curled up in, I can sit in that chair so much easier, and it's so much more comfortable now. And it's just like, all that is like 22 pounds in 3 weeks, and that just blows my mind. So I'm really looking forward to what the future holds, and, you know, kind of week by week how this goes. So that's it for today. My next video I'll talk in detail probably about some of the things that like helped me get through pre-op, surgery, and post-op. Just kind of, I'll probably link some Amazon stuff and, you know, show you guys like what's cool and what I'm excited about. Things like this little guy, he's real cute. His name is Barry, his stomach. And this is this is my current new stomach, and this is my old stomach, and that part got taken out. So he's a little VSG plushie, and he's cute. So yeah, so I'll show some of that stuff in my next video, probably in a couple days. And now that I posted 3 videos today, basically I'm gonna go back to my usual 1 to 2 videos a week. So don't worry, I won't bombard you any further. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below if you want to keep following my journey, and take care.